Why are you the only kid that hating on?
What if I told you that one of the most productive quarterbacks in college football history, someone who put up monster stats, showed elite poise, has NFL bloodlines, charisma, leadership, and off-the-charts intelligence, wasn't being taken seriously by the NFL?
Inconceivable!
Because that's what's happening right now with Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, that Shedeur Sanders. The guy who took the football world by storm in 2023, the son of arguably the greatest cornerback in NFL history, Deion Sanders, and a player who has everything you'd want in a modern franchise quarterback, is somehow falling down in the NFL draft projections. And that, my friend, would be a huge mistake. Today, we're going to break down exactly who Shedeur Sanders is, what he has accomplished, why he's getting this hate, and why any team that passes on him might regret it forever. But before we get into it, if you're a football junkie like me, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts below. I want to know what you think. Where should Shedeur land, and who's making a mistake by not drafting them? Let's get into it. Shedeur Sanders didn't just arrive on the scene last year. This is a guy who has been building his game for years. First at Jackson State under his father, Coach Prime, when he dominated the FCS levels. And then again at Colorado, where he stepped onto the biggest stage in college football, the Power 5 level, and put the world on notice. At Jackson State, well, he threw for over 3,700 yards with 40 touchdowns and just 6 picks in 2022. And when people said, let's see what he does at the Power 5 level, well, Shedeur bet on himself, transferred to Colorado, and walked into a program that went 1-11 the year before. And in week 1, he threw for 510 yards and 4 touchdowns against TCU, the team that went to the national championship, one of the most watched openers in recent memory. Oh, and by the way, in his first game, he broke that school record for passing yards. That wasn't a fluke. That was a message. By the end of the season, despite being sacked a ridiculous 52 times behind the worst offensive line in Power 5 football, Sanders still posted 3,230 passing yards, 27 TDs, and only 3 interceptions. You want production? Well, guess what? He's got it. You want poise? Watch that Colorado State game. You want leadership? Ask any of his teammates. This guy is the real deal.
What's up, boss? You believe that?
Of all the
hold on. Oh, no.
Now look, yes, he's Deion Sanders' son. And some people are weirdly holding that against him, saying stuff like he's only getting attention because of his dad, or he's riding Prime's coattails. But here's the truth. Shedeur Sanders could have easily gone to a powerhouse program straight out of high school. He was a 4-star recruit. He had offers from Alabama, Florida State, Georgia, and more. But he chose to help build something special with his dad, first at Jackson State, and then at Colorado. He wasn't given anything. He's earned every snap, every yard, every touchdown. If anything, having Deion Sanders as a dad made expectations even harder. Everyone watched him closer. Everyone expected more. And he delivered every time. Let's talk about the criticism, because it's real.
There's a report that he was called arrogant and brash after an interview at the NFL Combine.
Some national media outlets have been weirdly eager to tear this guy down. They call him cocky, they're questioning his attitude, they nitpick his body language, his watches, his confidence. But here's the thing, they don't say that with other quarterbacks who show the same confidence. When Joe Burrow smirks and wears the designer shades, he's the cool assassin. When Shedeur does it, he's arrogant. There's a clear double standard at play here, and it's honestly getting old. Shedeur has handled himself with maturity and poise throughout all of it. Even when he's getting hit 10 times a game because of the worst offensive line in the history of the world of college football, he still finds a way to stay in the pocket and deliver strikes. He's been criticized more than praised, and yet he's produced more than anyone in college football. Now, Shedeur didn't throw at the NFL Combine, and that got some people talking, but you know what teams really care about at the Combine? The interviews. And let me tell you something, Shedeur crushed those interviews.
I'm trying to change the franchise or the coach that don't give me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over, and I've done it over and over and over, so it should be no question why NFL franchise should pick me.
According to multiple reports, he was one of the most impressive quarterbacks during those interviews. His football IQ is elite. His recall is sharp, and he breaks down coverages, protections, pre-snap reads, you name it. It's exactly what the front offices of NFL teams are looking for. NFL scouts said he was unbelievably prepared and left a strong impression on coaches. One GM even reported that, quote, he's got the best mindset we've seen at the quarterback spot in his class. So yeah, maybe he didn't throw, and that's not something that is uncommon these days. But the part that actually matters, he passed with flying colors. For the folks that wanted to hold not throwing at the combine against him, well, they don't have anything to say now. Because fast forward to his pro day just a few days ago in Boulder, and Shedeur reminded everyone just how polished and precise he really is. He threw 68 passes, completed 64 of them, and most of those incompletions were drops. Deep balls, comebacks, timing routes, footwork, accuracy, he had it all. Everything was on display for Shedeur Sanders. NFL personnel walked away saying Shedeur, quote, looked like an NFL quarterback today. Even the ones who had their doubts were nodding. This guy puts in the work, and it showed. He also stayed after the throwing session to answer more questions, meet with additional staff, and lead teammates through drills. That's what franchise quarterbacks do.
Shedeur Sanders may, and I saw this recently, fall right out of the first round.
So why is he falling? Why are some scouts saying that he's not a first-round quarterback, not a first-round pick? Why is he being left out of the top 5 quarterback conversations?
The people who are fueling it are people who might want him to slide down the board.
Honestly, I think it's fear. Fear of his personality, fear of the media circus, fear of Deion's shadow, fear of dealing with a guy who's different. But let me ask you this. Shouldn't we want quarterbacks who are confident, who have faced pressure, who have been in the spotlight since they were 16, who have grown through it, who have dealt with struggling programs? Because when you are drafted to a struggling team, there are going to be woes, and the franchise quarterback has to find a way to get through those while you're building around him. Shouldn't you want that? Shedeur Sanders is a pro already. He's dealt with criticism louder than most rookies will face in 3 years, and he's still standing tall. That should be a green flag, not a red one. So let's break it all down. Here's what you're getting with Shedeur Sanders. A 6'2", 215-pound quarterback with NFL-level arm talent, insane production under pressure, behind one of the worst offensive lines in the country, a player who studies the game like a vet, a leader who's comfortable in chaos, and a guy who's already been the face of a franchise in college at multiple different locations. And guess what? The NFL is changing, folks. Pocket passers who can move, process fast, and handle media attention, that is the gold standard now. You think Shedeur can't be like that? You think he can't lead a team the same way like Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, or CJ Stroud have? Come on. If you're a team like the Raiders, the Giants, the Browns, even the Steelers, you need to be looking at Shedeur Sanders. Not in the 3rd round, not in the 2nd round, and not even really below pick 10.
This idea that Shedeur Sanders is going to plummet in the draft makes no sense to me.
Not as a maybe, but as a potential franchise guy who can walk in, handle the heat, and lead you forward. Because one thing's for sure, if he slides to day 2 or beyond, some team is going to steal him, and the rest of the league is going to regret it. So what do you think? Will Shedeur Sanders prove everybody wrong? Is he worth a top pick? And which team is going to take the lead? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new, and check out my full breakdowns of every NFL prospect coming soon. This has been another deep dive here at the 32 Blueprint. And until next time, I'll see you later.